Okay, Chaverim, this is Rabbi Yitzchak Shapira with Blessed Israel Network, with the KLX here. We are actually inside one of the most iconic synagogue here in Jerusalem. It's called the Hurvah. The word Hurvah means in Hebrew, the ruined synagogue. Why is it called the ruin? Let's show them here the picture. Let's start with Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, okay? So imagine in the late 1600s, early 1700s, a large group of Zionists come here with the idea that they can hasten the Geula, to bring the Geula, and they establish the way the Jewish people worked. They have what's called the Chatzer. Each Chassidut have their own Chatzer, and Chatzer is a courtyard where you have the Bet Midrash, the quarters. They lived like in a compound. The Chatzer is really a compound, okay? So they took actually several flats. It started very, very small, and they established on those flats a mikveh. There was a mikveh here, everything, and they established here one of the very first, if not the very original synagogues in the old city, what was known as the old city. Now, the Muslims destroyed this actually synagogue. So today, obviously, we're standing on the Hurvah, and it's amazing. Why do you call the Hurvah? It's been destroyed and resurrected, destroyed and resurrected. Okay. So what they did, the Muslim did, they burned this synagogue. Okay, check this out. They actually burn it. Okay, and that's what this place called Chatzer Hurvat Yehuda Chassid. It's called the courtyard of Yehuda the Chassid. Okay, so here you go for roughly, I think 1720, 1730. They just completely destroyed it. Okay, then we come to the 1800s. What it is? They establish here the Bet Yaakov synagogue, amazingly on the ruins of the old one. Okay, who came this time? It was the Gaon of Vilna, who was actually, he connected the Ashkafa of the Gaon was that somehow the return of the Jews to the lands is going to hasten the Geula. Okay, so his entire vision was that he's going to send his Talmidim to Yerushalayim, to inhabit Yerushalayim, to bring the Mashiach. Okay, so it's very different than a lot of the people today who are Jewish and don't believe in the return. They live in Brooklyn or other places. The idea that there's a connection between the land of Israel to the coming of Mashiach and to the Geulah of the Jewish people was in the essence of Rabbi Kook, the Gaon of Vilna, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so they established here Bet Yaakov on the money that comes from Rothschild. Okay, Rothschild gave them money and they built it on the ruins. Okay, later on, Bet Yaakov has become the prominent synagogue here in the old city. It was in the heydays. It was established for about 80 years, from 1859 or 1860 to 1948, the establishment of Israel. You can show them a photo. This is kind of what it used to look like back in then. And by the way, this is also have a name. It's called the original Perushim, Pharisaic synagogue. Actually, that's one of the names, the original Pharisaic synagogue. By the way, this is Ashkenaz, I should mention. That's Ashkenazim, you know, all the chief rabbis of Israel have become inaugurated right here behind us. So this is very, very important. So even during World War I, okay, World War II, that is important to understand. That was an active synagogue in this city. And also they said there were no Jews here. Of course there were Jewish people. Jewish people were working here. And then, of course, during the 1948 War of Independence, okay, the Hurvah, there was a battle that took place. As we remember, we saw the battle, the watch post, where Or HaChaim synagogue here was. So just imagine, we're about what? Not more than 500 meters. They are watching, and guess what? They're praying here. So they're praying behind enemy lines.
Wow.
Do you understand what's happening?
They came in the night and
they're praying here behind enemy lines. It was a spiritual. Think about it. It says in the Torah, Moses would take the ark and he would go, Kuma Adonai ve'afutzu avecha b'sonecha. So they came here, they were a spiritual battle troopers. Yeah. So you're not just standing on a place of war, physical war, but a spiritual war. So what happened is this Hurvah synagogue, the Jordanian, remember there was no Palestinians, which is important to the people, and there was no concept of Palestinian. There were Jordanians. So they actually blew up. This is blown up. You can see a picture here. Yeah, the Hurvah Yehudi. It was a terrible, terrible thing. But guess what? They restored this synagogue. It's like the history of the Jewish people. You know, they die, resurrect. They're not really dead. They are clinically dead, but they're always resurrected from the dead. So that is the story of the Hurvah. We're about to go inside.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So I have read, I forget who said
Yes.
it, which rabbi,
Yes.
but somebody prophesied that the third time that the Hurvah was rebuilt, it would be near to the days of Mashiach.
It's come from, you know, it's interesting. The Gaon in Vilna, when he sent his disciple, he sent them on a suicide mission. And you know one thing amazing? He knew that. He says that they're going as what they called them back then, the Chalutzim, the pioneers, right? So they went as a Chalutz, as a pioneer, but he says that if they come here and they establish this, you know, and think about this is going back to Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, but he said if you establish it with the roots of our people, you will bring Mashiach.
Okay.
So the entire context here is quite messianic,
Very
very redemption. So those people became like a living wall and a living sacrifice. So even imagine 1948 here, they are praying, and I believe that part of the battle that was won in 1948.
Because they were praying.
Absolutely. No, there is no problem in believing this. We are people who believe, you know, and it was a splendorous, it was a glorious thing, and it's quite amazing today. And you know, it's an active synagogue today. So one of the greatest things you can do is come here on Shabbos and pray here on Shabbat. It's quite an amazing thing. So this is a little bit shiur about the Hurvah. I think you should take them inside now, Daniel, and show them. Maybe this is a replica. You could show them a little bit of the replica.
Flip it around, maybe.
And by the way, look at this. Look at this. This is something actually very, very important. Look what it says.
It's easier.
It says, Simchu et Yerushalayim. Daniel, come here, Daniel. Come here. This is important. Simchu et Yerushalayim vegilu ba kol ohaveh. So we sing. Yaakov, shh. I'm recording for them. They need this. Simchu et Yerushalayim gilu ba kol ohaveh. Rejoice in Jerusalem. Gilu Bakolavet, rejoice in the lover of Yerushalayim, because remember what it says in the song, Al Chomotai Ir David Efkadeti Shomrim Kolam Bekolam. On your wall, Jerusalem, city of David, I put a watchman. You want to know who the watchman is? The people who pray are the real heroes. Misos Kolam Mitablim, Shisu et Misos Kolam Mitablim Alei, Pitzchu Verenun Chovot Yerushalayim. Here's a prophecy from the prophet Yeshayahu. This has come from Isaiah, actually, that it says those who will rejoice over the Hurvah. What's the name of the synagogue? Hurvah. The ruin of Yerushalayim. Ki nacham Hashem amo. He bring comfort. Who is the comfort? The comfort is Mashiach. Mashiach will come and he's bringing it. Okay, and here you see that this is like a ketuvah for the synagogue. This is this authenticity for the synagogue. So you see Hatzion, and they write in Rashi script, Tzion Bocher beYerushalayim in the Kotel Ma'aravi, and here you see they mention, look who is they mention. They mention Menachem Mendel Rabbeinu Uliama Chassid Mivilna. Who is that? That's the Gaon in Vilna. So they honor, when they wrote, they honor everybody who come here before. Isn't that amazing? So look, they also mention Yehuda HaChassid. They give homage, they give honor to those who came before. And look what it said, that we will receive Menachem Tzion. So we will receive the comfort in Zion. Baruch Matziv Gvul Almanai. And it's really what you see in here, and you see the signature You know, this is the signature of all who signed this. This represent the Bet Knesset. This is not a synagogue. You're talking about an historical artifact. This is like a museum. You know, you are touching history right now. We are touching history, so and we can just thank Hashem. Who would know that it was Daniel, probably your ancestors, Daniel, your ancestor who came here and fought to establish this. Our ancestors, so one day we can come here
and
enjoy it and don't even know. Okay. Yes? Let's not take it casually, because history can repeat itself quite easily.
Okay.
Yes? Call two.
Okay.